these are figures that I'm not giving on the basis of what some NGO has provided to me. These are figures available in the SIT report. This is something that the SIT has recorded without realizing the fact that they are saying something damaging about Modi, because they were focused on giving him a clean chit. They were focused on lauding him for holding these meetings, one of which was this one at 4 o'clock. They overlooked the fact that this 4 o'clock meeting was being held barely 3 kilometers from Gulbarg Society, where by then 69 people had been killed. And this 4 o'clock meeting went on for half an hour, and at 4:30 he holds a press conference at that very venue, Circuit House Annexi, and it goes on for 1 hour 15 minutes, 4:30 to 5:45. I'm giving you these precise details because these are all recorded in the SIT report. So during this 1 hour 15 minute exchange with the media, the highlight was that he said that at that half an hour meeting he had with police and Home Ministry officials, they've come to this conclusion that army needed to be called. So the big announcement he made during that press conference was that the Gujarat government has decided to call the army, right? And during that press conference, he did not say a word about this massacre that had just taken place. He was talking about Godra incident that took place the previous day. He was talking about the danger of post-Godra violence. But he was still talking about it in the future tense, overlooking the fact that one big massacre had already taken place not very far from where he was sitting. And police were very much aware of it all through the day, during that prolonged siege culminating in that massacre, as evident from all those police messages that the police exchanged, which are all part of the SIT report. And yet, there was this pretense of being unaware of it. And, this 3:30, this meeting, this press conference started at 4:30 and went on till 4:45, as I said. And then at 4:30 it started and went on till 5:45. 5:45, so 1 hour 15 minutes. And then at 6 o'clock, he records a message, a peace appeal to Doordarshan, which is standard operating procedure. It's a message that was played over and over again during the violence over the next few days, right? Now, the remarkable thing is, during that press conference, he makes no mention of this. And I must add that when I look back at those records, I find it extraordinary that even journalists who were there at that press conference do not seem to have asked about this massacre that took place. There was no mention of the Gulbarg Society massacre in that press conference that took place on February 28 from 4:30 to 5:45. Though this press conference took place about half an hour or 1 hour after this massacre, and not very far from where this press conference took place. And it appears that because there were such incidents all over the city, they were probably too distracted. As I mentioned earlier, even TV channels, when I asked people who knew better, in fact I asked Rakesh also at one point, he said it could be because the resources were very limited. I mean, these 24/7 channels had come into existence by then, but they were not that many in number. The resources were not that many. OB vans and all were probably yet to come into existence then. So whatever the reason may be, we don't have any audiovisual footage, and it appears that contemporaneously even journalists were not quite aware of it, because probably such incidents were taking place all over the city and all over the state that day. So for whatever reason, you have this odd gap in knowledge. And then when this man gives his message to Doordarshan, records his message to Doordarshan at 6 o'clock, again there is no mention of post-Godra violence having actually started. This Gulbarg Society incident having actually taken place. This massacre on which 69 people being killed, in which a former Congress MP has been killed. There was no mention of that at all. He only talks about the Godhra incident, denounces that incident, because that's an incident in which Muslims were miscreants, allegedly. And when it comes to the retaliatory violence that started that day, in which Hindus were allegedly the miscreants, there was no mention of that at all. He is surely appealing to them to observe restraint, telling them to maintain peace, and warning them that action would be taken against them. But there is a complete silence on the fact that violence had actually already taken place. Now, when the SIT asked him this pointed question years later in 2010, when did you come to know about Gulbarga Society, the Gulbarga Society massacre? This man says that he came to know about it at a meeting that took place in the night of February 28 at his residence. And elsewhere in the report, the SIT gives an account of all the meetings he held, and it says that there was a meeting at his house at 8:30. So if you put 2 and 2 together, we now know that according to Modi, he claims to have come to know about the Gulbarga Society massacre at 8:30 in the night, which means 4.5 or 5 hours after the massacre was all over.